I got back to Nigeria. Everybody thought I came back with money. Meanwhile, I was already in debt. That's how crazy it was. My name is Ogunmefun Folami. In the Nigerian setting, an average model wants to go abroad to model, and then they think that's like the peak of their career. Based off my own experience, I can categorically say that it is not until you travel abroad you can make it in Nigeria as a model. And I'll use myself as an example. A lot of people now know me as Sabina Bonita. I am from Ogun State. I'm 25 years old, 5 feet tall, beautiful, stunning. I'm a teacher, a personal shopper, and the cherry on top, as you can see, I'm a model. When I was done with secondary school and I had nothing to do because I didn't get admission that year, I didn't want to do the conventional thing of just maybe go learn how to make hair or sew clothes because I was very antsy. I just told my mom that I think I want to try this modeling thing. There's this uncle in my church. He's very, very tall. So his name is Mr. Femi. I think he used to be into modeling too. And then he would always tell me that, Fola, I want you to go into modeling. I'm like, yes, I've been trying now. Maybe last year or some year ago, I was Miss Girls Brigade, Lagos State. He said, no, that there's more into modeling. Do you know what? I'm going to connect you with somebody, Femi Loving. That's the person that trained me, who coined the name Sabina Bonita for me, and taught me the basic things I knew about modeling because I wasn't aware at all. In my head, modeling was pageantry, but through Mr. Femi Loving, I discovered that there was more to modeling than just pageantry. So that was basically how I started modeling. I remember that our first encounter was very funny because my parents, being parents, made sure that I didn't go alone. I went with my brother and his friend. So when he saw me, he was just like, he laughed. I was wondering what was going on. I said, it was my mom that said I should come with my brother as well. And it's like, okay, that's very fair. And two things stood out to me when I had that first encounter with him. He said that I need to be consistent and loyal, and that will take me far in the modeling industry. In the Nigerian setting, an average model wants to go abroad to model, and then they think that's like the peak of their career. You'll be very skinny, get an agency here in Nigeria, that'll be your model agent, and then get another agency in the abroad, either Paris, Italy, or London. Those are like the very hot spots for models to make it. Based off my own experience, I can categorically say that it is not until you travel abroad you can make it in Nigeria as a model. And I'll use myself as an example. I remember that when I finally got into the agency that took me abroad, that's 90s, because I used to be with ISIS. I got an agency in Italy, did everything back and forth. I was able to travel, I was so excited because I was thinking that, yes, I've finally gotten my big break. After, being in Nigeria, because you're skinny here in Nigeria, a lot of brands cannot relate to your size. And they'll tell you, oh, you're too skinny. Meanwhile, you're trying to travel abroad and they're telling you that you're not skinny enough. So you're like, which one should I do? But like I said, the goal is to, model over there. And I remembered going with all my hopes up there. I was at my skinniest state. Right now, I'm probably like ×2 of the size I used to be then. That's to show you how skinny I was. I knew I landed in Paris and I went to my agency there. It's called Claw Models, and I was happy to be there, hopeful that yes, the job will start getting in and all of that. So I went for my first casting, I went for my first portfolio shoot, and it was not what I thought. Honestly, it didn't go as planned. It was peak of the season. There were already a lot of models on ground for shoots. In fact, they had booked them right from Nigeria before getting there. So it was just a lot for me, and I wasn't doing as well as I thought I would. In fact, I didn't book any job in Paris. My manager was still very hopeful that, okay, when I go to Italy, that's Milan, yes, because that's like the capital fashion city there. And maybe if I get to Milan, it will be better. We're just trying to pick up so many things. I got to Milan, stayed for another 1.5 months. I was able to do like 1 or 2. I collaborated with like few photographers, and then I got a job eventually, like after my 3 months of staying. But unfortunately, the job was 2 days after my flight back to Nigeria. You can imagine how heartbroken I was. And I was telling my manager, can't we just shift my flight? Let me do this job. Who knows? This could be the job that might put me out there. But because of expenses, and then they were thinking of how, is the pay worth us shifting my flights? We're just like, let me just come back to Nigeria, and then the next season when I go, would plan better and maybe start from Milan rather than going from Paris. It was really sad, but life has to go on. I got back to Nigeria. Everybody thought I came back with money. Meanwhile, I was already in debt. That's how crazy it was, but I was able to pay some of it with the help of my family, because I told you I have a very, very supportive family, and that's very key. And that's another part of my journey that really helped it seem seamless. I got back to Nigeria, I had a meeting with my manager, and then at that point, it was not so encouraging. I get it on his part, on my part, and I just sat down one day. I'm like, I don't think I want to continue, because it feels like I've gone, and my agency there, they were not motivated to bring me back. So everything wasn't going as well as I thought, and I just decided that I'm going to focus on the Nigerian market. So I can say that point I decided that I am going to be a Nigerian model was probably the turning or breakthrough point for me, because as at that point, I now decided to sit down and understand how the Nigerian modeling market works. Being that an average Nigerian woman is like a 12, 10, around that range, a lot of the brands we have here try to portray something that is wearable. So they need you to have much more skin and be a bit more fleshy so they can pass it to the right audience. So after understanding that, I also looked at how you can book jobs even without the help of your manager. I saw that you have to put yourself out there. Because before I traveled, I was forming mysterious, so that I can come off as a new face, So that was the strategy, right? When I got back to Nigeria, I said, okay, after having all these plans on ground, that, okay, these are the things I need to do. I started posting often. I tried to gain weight so that I'm much more relatable. And then I took my content seriously. Even without posting online, when people see me, they can identify that, oh, you're a model. You're not just skinny for being skinny sake. Oh, I can see you, she's a model. Having to do all of that really gingered me, and I started seeing results. I started booking more brands on my own. I, started building relationships with people, because I understand that to have some client return, you have to build some sort of relationship with them. And then, I basically started putting myself out there, and I carried myself the way I wanted people to see me. Once I was able to do that, the rest is history. I have a lot of people that has impacted in my story one way or another. I would like to start with this space that we're currently in. It's called Kadiju. Once you know Kadiju, you know my face. And imagine you being like an integral part of a brand for over or close to 5 years. That every shoot they've had, you have been on it. I mean every single show. That's to show you how much of the importance they had to me and I am to them. Another brand I would like to talk about is Rogue. The CEO of Rogue is the person that actually gave me the idea of having a casting agency, because I remember that my first gig ever was for their SS24 collection. I was also a model on the job, but every other model, I think 4 of us, I was the one that got them, handled their pay, handled how they were going to eat on set and all of that. So he said, if you can do it, why not make a job of this? And I'm like, I'll give it a try. Even though I slacked on it for a bit, I caught up with it. And moving on, he has always reminded me of how I started and how far I've gone. So every opportunity that they also have to push me out there, they do. So those 2 brands are very key to my heart. I think my philosophy of life can be just be inspired, to be honest. And even with my brand, SA Casting, that is probably going to be 3 years this year. Yes, is literally just inspired, because I feel like me being in an avenue to bring the clients and the model together is a way of impacting into people's life, both on the client end and the model's end. So I'm so happy that I can do that. I also train people. I have my friends that have agencies with models. I go there to teach them sometimes when I have the time. I do not necessarily have to be paid. The fact that I'm able to impact I'm good. And then I have people that also look up to me. They come in one-on-one. I give them my advice on what to do. So those are the things that I'm doing right now. And then with essay casting, I plan on having a school where I basically teach models what to expect in the modeling industry. And I don't plan on it being paid. I'm giving back to the society. So I have that in mind. It's not on the pipeline yet, but it's somewhere in my books. I've gotten to a stage whereby I decline a lot of jobs because I know my worth now and I've worked for it. I'll be 10 years in the modeling game by next year, September. So I think it counts that I'm able to call the shots because I know the value I'm bringing to the brand. I've gotten there. Gone are the days where we 1,000 Egbewa, 2,000, just bring it. So I'm just trying to get the job going. But I'm glad, I'm very, very grateful to God for bringing me this far to the point where even if I don't have a job in like a month, even though it has not happened in a while, at least one job or two will come, but at least I'm not so quote unquote hungry that, oh, a job must come before I'm okay. I would mention 3 things that I want you to expect, especially for people that are new in the modeling space. The first one is you'll be rejected a lot, but that doesn't define you. You also have to understand that there are trials and tribulations, and they come in selling you false hope. Oh my God, they will sell you a lot of false hope in the modeling industry. So you need to know who you are so you don't fall for it and you know what you're trying to achieve in the modeling space. And then the last one that I'm sort of passionate about is to always tell models, especially the female models, that if you don't know where you're shooting, if you don't know who you're shooting with, always go with somebody, because we have a lot of cases of sexual assaults and all. So I always need you to go very prepared because you can't trust everybody or anybody. Do you understand? So always guard yourself, guard your heart, and know that you need to be safe first before any other thing. Now, for the lasting words that I would love that everyone stick by, even if you're outside the modeling industry, it's just commitment and consistency. You could be committed and you're not consistent, you'll not see results. Consistency, with the grace of God, of course, has brought me this far. Those keywords, let it stick. Just like my trainer, Mr. Femi Loving, told me then, I should be loyal and commit. The loyalty side, story for another day, but for consistency and commitment, I stand by that too. It's Omofolami here, Sabina Bonita, Sabina we Sabi, and this is my Bit Story.